Hi there. My name is Stephen Turman. I've been a trial attorney and appellate advocate for more than 20 years. I own a litigation boutique in New York that represents clients in the areas of complex business and commercial litigation, creditors' rights in bankruptcy, and in contested trust and estates matters. For today's video, I want to discuss with you my top 5 reasons why business partnerships fail. Number 1, you picked the wrong partner. Business partners are like wives and husbands. You can fall in love with them at first for all the wrong reasons. He or she can be beautiful, well-built, funny, charming, have a great career. Everything looks good on paper. You date for a while. The chemistry is good, and you just say, wow, this person's fantastic. I'm going to ask her to marry me. Your partner feels the same way, so you get married. Then, after you say I do, you start to see another side of that person. People can lie and hide their less desirable qualities for a while, but not forever. Eventually, they let down their guard, and you get to see the real person you're sleeping with. You may have different expectations for life and what you want from each other. You may want a big family, and he or she doesn't. He or she may want to give up their career, and you are counting on having a 2-income household. She may want to raise the kids one religion, and you may want to raise them another. I think you get the point. These issues are the types of issues that should have been, but aren't always, considered at the start of a relationship. And if they are considered, it's possible that you rationalize them away and said, it's not a today problem. We'll work it out down the road. Well, that's a lot harder than it looks. Now, what applies for good partners in a romantic relationship applies for good partners in business. You can meet a potential partner. They wow you with their charisma and charm. They seem to have their act together. They have some ideas that sound good, and maybe they even show a resume with a good track record. You may have some extra money to invest and think, wow, this will be a great opportunity. It seems like a natural fit. So you get into proverbial bed with that person, and you fund the business, and you find out that that person's not all they're cracked up to be. Maybe they oversold themselves. They don't have all the connections that they said they did, or those connections weren't as solid as they suggested. Now, that person still has the money that you invested in the business, and you find yourself in a bad spot. It's hard to find good partners, and like with marriages, many partnerships end up in divorce. That's not to say that you shouldn't have business partners. We need business partners in many instances, or we wouldn't have businesses at all. Make sure you are careful in your vetting process, and make sure you pick someone that you can trust. Don't just start a business with the first person that looks good and is willing to get into bed with you. Make sure that you take all the steps you can at the beginning to mitigate the risks of committing yourself to the wrong partner. Number 2, you don't have a negotiated partnership agreement. A good partnership agreement is like a good prenuptial. The process of negotiating the agreement is an opportunity for you and your prospective partners to discuss and negotiate potential disputes that are likely to arise during the operation of the business and how those disputes will be addressed. All before the business starts and these disputes become real. For example, what happens when one partner wants to make a distribution of profits and others don't? What happens when one partner wants to sell her business interest to someone that you don't like? Do you get stuck with a new partner that you never would have agreed to take on? Do you have a right of first refusal? Can you veto the sale? What happens if one partner dies? Are you suddenly partners with the surviving spouse? You know, the crazy one that your partner wanted to leave but never got around to leaving? I can't tell you how many clients I've had that start businesses with people and don't have a written agreement defining their respective roles in the company. A well-drafted, negotiated agreement that covers reasonably foreseeable issues reduces the risks that come with starting a business. When I say well-drafted and negotiated, I mean drafted and negotiated with the help of attorneys representing each owner that will help them iron out the areas of contention specific to your expectations and those of other owners. And it needs to be drafted to take into account issues unique to your business and industry. Please, please don't use a form, partnership, or shareholder agreement that you bought for $75 from LegalZoom or some other online vendor. Using generic forms and skipping over the negotiation of terms can put you in a worse position than if you had no agreement at all. In fact, going through the exercise of negotiating the agreement itself gives you a much better idea of who these people are that you are starting a business with and whether you can work with them long term. Think about negotiating your partnership agreement as being part of the vetting process. Number 3, changing expectations. When people get together to start a company as partners, they generally share an understanding of what they expect from the venture and from each other. As time goes on, however, those expectations and priorities can change. For example, my client started a small business with a friend as a partner, and they each had a 50% ownership interest in the company. But a year or two into operating the business, my client was doing 75% of the work and even putting in some of his own money to cover operating shortfalls, and his partner lost interest in the business, had other distractions in life, and wasn't really pulling his weight. In this situation, it isn't fair for the guy doing 75% of the work to have to share everything 50-50 with a partner that isn't pulling his weight. Without a good written partnership agreement, your partner may still own half the business regardless of the fact that you're doing the bulk of the work. He or she may still be entitled to half the profits and may have as much say in how much you could take as a salary and other critical business decisions as you do, even though they're doing a fraction of the work and putting in a fraction of the money. Maybe your partner can be convinced to sell their interest to you or agree to another more equitable arrangement, but don't count on that happening. At least not without you giving up a lot more than you should to get rid of this bad partner. Number 4, bad habits and bad behavior. Just like with marriage again, you don't always realize who you're getting into bed with until after you say your vows. I've had clients that are partners in successful businesses, but they need to get out, get rid of their partner, because they didn't realize their partner had a drug or alcohol problem. They didn't realize their partner had an anger management problem or some other issue that may put the business in jeopardy and could actually damage my client's good reputation just by association. Bad habits can ruin what could have been a great business relationship just as quickly as they ruin marriages. Number 5, loss of trust. Business partners can enjoy very successful business and partnership relationship, and they don't even need to like each other. They do, however, need to be able to trust each other. Partners need to be able to make informed decisions about the company, and they need to be able to rely on the information they are given by their partners when making those decisions. If that information is not reliable, problems will arise. If a partner promises to do something and they don't, and this becomes a pattern, problems will arise. In the worst case scenario, a partner may steal from the business, start a competing business on the side, or engage in some other conduct that results in a breach of fiduciary duty or duty of loyalty. This is the business equivalent of one spouse cheating on the other. Once trust is lost, it's going to be very difficult to save the relationship. I hope you liked my first video for this channel. If you did, please press like and subscribe below. Please share this video with friends and colleagues, and please post any questions or comments you have in the comments section below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.